what would be the state of future, state of religion in the future? Would would Christianity exist 500 years from now?
Yeah, or religion in general.
Would Islam exist 500 years from now? You know, I'm thinking about that though. What I'm thinking about that is like in the same way where civilization changes, you know, where in the state of if where civilization changes and these people like from before, like of the civilizations. For example, the Egyptians, the Mayans, all these people from before, and they had their different beliefs, and how now time advanced now, and then new religion, new concept based on the what's
You know what's funny about the old religion? Well, I wouldn't even call it religion to be honest, but it was some sort of
belief,
spirituality.
yeah,
What's funny about that is the way each region, like from the Egyptians to the Native Americans to the fucking the Aztecs and whatnot, the way they understood the universe and the way the whole matrix works here. Each of them, like they were all there at different times, right? But they each had like similar things to it. Like they all had like similar.
yeah,
How do I put it? Like you know what I'm trying to say? They all had like there was something similar about each
philosophy in a certain sense.
philosophy. Yeah, yeah,
Like they're like a concept like that they have. It was about a sun in it. The sun was a factor in all of them.
oh yeah, it goes deeper than that, man. Because what most of them do is they actually explain how the whole universe started. But the problem about that is now the people that are actually practicing it right now, they don't really understand it. They just understand the generic part of it. They only understand like the materialistic part of it. They don't actually understand the real like depths of the spirituality.
Nah, not to mention like fucking knowledge will be there, or words, written word will be there, but it's down to who's interpreting it, and also
Exactly.
the the being who's the mind who's actually doing that interpreting and where that mind wants to go, because people create um, nonsense to justify the bullshit, you know. And from the beginning of time, they use like, oh yeah, shit was this way back then. We should. That means that we should be doing this right now. But the thing about that is they don't use that same um,
It's a different time frame. It's not.
concept.
Yeah, you can't use an old concept in a new age. Like you can't. It doesn't work.
Exactly. But they like to say, oh, it was like this back then, so this is how it should be right now. People have always been taking drugs. People always been. But like what? That same concept, they don't apply it to everything in their life. So what? People getting beheaded back then. You think that should be going on right now?
Nah.
You know, everything that should be going on right now is that people is not consistent. Only where they see fit, what justifies their lifestyle, what they like doing, and then that's how they create. They're fucking bending beliefs. They're not a philosophy that's set in stone or set up for continuity. To have that consistency, you need that. Life is a cycle, and you can't go against them rules. You can't pick and choose, this thing from. You fit into life. Life doesn't fit into you. You know, I mean, life will be inside of you. You know, but you're a cog in the scheme, and there's rules to this shit and levels.
That's a fact.
So with any of your way of thinking, I believe that you have to acknowledge these core rules, yeah, before you go about generating your way of thought, your thought pattern,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. That's a
because
fact.
if not, like, that doesn't make sense. Then that means you're not setting yourself up to have continuity. You're not setting yourself up, you know, to have that foundation. Foundation is important on anything. You can't build, you know, a fucking a house, you know, with weak support, with a weak base, you know. It's just rules of life. It's just simple rules of life. So I think like there's a lot to say on that we need to talk about, man. Like, for real, with so many questions, and you know, just like that now, I feel like, alright, people as young as 10 years old, they might find it a bit hard to interpret this, you know, these things, or a conversation like this. But I can't say, because if you're ready for it, then who am I to say, alright, you shouldn't hear nothing, you know, like I'm breaking you out into certain worlds that you shouldn't be in, and doing things that you shouldn't be. It's knowledge. It's just that maybe you shouldn't like force the force maturity on yourself, you know. Take the time, because it's just about the rules. Like, remember I was saying about the generation and being affected by personal experiences, the time that we're living in, and weighing against, divided by our ways of thinking. So that, you know, affects us right now. So what I was saying with that now is that we can't move the time along. No matter how far we feel that we're advanced, we're still living in this generation. And it's just rules. It's like maths. You can't remove something out of the equation and then have that stability, and that you need that balance. And the same thing. It's a universal rule, fam. You know, when I was like young, yeah, I figured that shit out. But to how things go and progress in your life, you know, you can get removed from you know, you can get way removed. You can get way removed, especially like how we're living without being so community based, or like people be suffering the same things and be, you know, off in a different direction, everyone at their side. So when I was saying about the youth now, I was thinking about like just that warmth, like have a bigger brother, a little bigger sister, you know, like to say, all right, yeah, this, because I mean we share the earth with each other and whatnot, but you know, leave that room to grow as well. Because there's a lot, I remember some of them kids there that was like young and just force raped. They were just force raped. They were like they weren't mature at all, but they were trying to act as if they were mature. Now I remember some kids, man, when I was younger, were that you know, and I remember some females, some women that at the time, you know, I remember some of them that were like they weren't mature, like mentally, but they would like act as if they were grown, and you know, so like me, like with all my movement and whatnot, yeah. That's why I asked you about it, because I was thinking, because the other day, like I know this like girl in Canada, and from online, I'm just like, you know, a bigger brother, you know, so it won't ever be a dynamic, you know. That's the dynamic, you know. Little sis, she an artist and she doing music, but I'm like, yo, you're not ready for it because you're too young. You're too young. I don't want you to be exploited. It's the best thing that I found you before anyone else did, because, you know. But I think about that is like, oh, what a shame it is that we have to be on this or have certain ways of thinking because of the times that we're in. But I mean, it's up to date because we can't swim against the tide, fam. Keep saying that recently. Can't swim against the tide. So like, yeah, man. So like, but knowing like what's going on right now, you know, you have to be up to date. You know, carry them the past lessons from the past, yeah. Yeah. Take the knowledge, the lessons and everything of the past, but not live in the past, you know. It's a key thing, man. It's a key thing. Alright, bro, it's easy for time to pass you by. Easiest thing. Easiest thing for time to pass you by, man. That's like, I've always said time is like the biggest fear of human, of mankind. Yeah, time. Time, fam. First people. When you think about it, yeah, and you say, what gives this the meaning of meaning one? Or who said this means 2, 3, 4? What does that mean? You know, who gave that terminology for it to have a meaning or in this existence? You know, that's just questioning some shit from some ground shit that I don't think I'll find an answer to.
That's the question we should be asking, fam.
But it's the exact same thing, but with values in society. Who said that? Oh, this is the way that, blah blah blah. You know, you go everywhere, anywhere in the world, they have certain things that they do that they don't do in another part. You know, who said that this conditioning you know, I think about that stuff, man. I think about that stuff. What? Yeah, man. Let me think now. What more? The tomorrow's fucking thing. I have to record that little segment right there as well. You see that's the idea for this, like to just be a chill thing, or just us be chilling and just record us chilling. Because you never know when we come out with something, you know, the right moment. Let me think, alright, should we all say, we have to talk about the word nigger thing. We have to talk about that. Is the word nigger a good connector? That's a fucking troll question.
What's the question?
Is the word nigger a good connector or not? That's a troll question. Cause I know I don't think I should be saying it myself.
Yeah.
But I still say it, you know. It's such a good connector. You know what I'm saying? word, nigga. Capitalism.
Oh man, capitalism.
Definitely have to touch that thing.
That's the number one.
London, man.
That's a very.
Capitalist capital.
That's that's an important factor in the matrix. So
For real. For real.